Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that little bell icon so you know when new videos pop up, because you never know when it can happen. Try to get 1 or 2 a week, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes less. I'm having a pretty good week. I thought it was going to be a pretty bad week, but turning out to be a pretty good week so far. As you know, in one of my last couple of videos, I did the IG-11 credit collection figure. I have it here, the one that I'm keeping on the card in a figure shield case. I'm gonna get the figure shields and keep each of the credit collection figures that I have in there. The ones that I'm opening, I'm gonna decide as I open them if they're going on the shelf with the rest of my Mandalorian figures or not. Anyways, I had the credit collection Cara Dune on pre-order from Target. I was able to get in there, get a pre-order in the 2 minutes that it was live, and I thought I had it coming to me in the mail up until like a day ago. It was saying, yep, it was on time. It was supposed to arrive potentially today. But what happened was I got a notification this morning from Target telling me that my pre-order was delayed because of lack of stock. Then on Twitter this morning, it was blowing up because everybody was finding the credit collection Cara Dune actually hanging on pegs in Targets. So after work today, I decided to cruise on by just to see what was going to happen. And lo and behold, I was able to come up with a vintage collection Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight. I don't collect many of these vintage collection, and when I do, I usually just keep them in the card. I don't open them, I don't review them. If you want to see a review of this video, and one of the reasons why I bought it, over on Sean Solo 8, he does a fantastic job of reviewing this figure. You should go check that video out, and you'll know why I bought this figure. I think it's a really good likeness. I really love the way the card looks. This is the card that I feel like I remember when I was a kid. Vintage collection Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight figure, and Cara Dune credit collection figure. I was super stoked to go in there and find this figure, and I grabbed it as quick as I could so nobody else could get it, and I brought it home, and I'm opening it up, and we're going to take a look at what this figure has. As a reminder, I'm going to put the original release of the Cara Dune figure down there, and we're going to open this up and take a look at it. But first, let's take a closer look at this card back. This packaging has like that weathering, that same weathering on it that make it look like an older card, which is really nice. I like the way the figure like looks in there next to its picture. Now these pictures have a artsy kind of look to them. If you take a look at Roland's reviews and check him out on Twitter, you'll be able to see some of the artwork that he does where he transforms action figures into works of art, basically. And I think this is a fantastic figure to go along with the IG-11 on the credit collection. Unfortunately, there was only the one in the store, but I'm going to open it so that we can take a look at the figure, knowing that I do have a pre-order from Target, and eventually, hopefully, it will come. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure we're going to keep seeing these in store, so I'm not like so... I don't have any anxiety over not finding it. I mean, it was amazing to go in there and find an actual figure in the store. It's been a long time since that's happened. So let's open this up and take a closer look. Okay, so we got the figure out of the package, but the first thing I want to say is if you look at the back of the card there, you'll see some distortions in the paper. I thought I kind of like messed up the card when I was pulling it out, but that's intentional to make it look like an old card. So I think that looks really cool. The other thing we're going to look at is this Imperial Credit. It's a little bit different color than the one that we had for the IG-11, but you know, it is plastic. Now I was reading today that, yeah, it didn't make sense. I mean, that they just give you an Imperial Credit. They should have done something like make this a stand. That would have been a fantastic idea. So just like with the other figure, you know, we have the gun. And let's take a closer look at this one. So we can see this one's just like silverish, and this one has like that brownish look to it. We're not going to pull that gun out of the holster. She has the knife also, which goes in the boot, right? And you can see the older knife has like some silver on the blade, and the handle is like a little bit grayer. This has like some deep red in the brown. And then we get to the big rifle. So her original rifle is the one up on top. So you can see the new one has some nice reddish tint to it, and the old one just has like some brown and stuff in there. And so there is a color difference in the weapons. They are virtually identical, if not for the color. So let's take a closer look at this figure, so we can take a look at the figure and the card. I think they did a pretty good job. They added that color into the hair. They changed this color to green. They did some of this little reddish on here, and this is like red light reflecting. This figure looks pretty good in my opinion. And let's take a closer look at the two figures side by side so that we can see what the differences are in the hair. So they did add some color differences in the hair. But pretty much just like the IG-11, of course, it's going to be exactly the same molding. It's just going to be different color pattern. So I do like this original version of the Cara Dune, but I am telling you, like the IG-11, I really like the original pattern. And I thought the IG-11 was really good on the card because the card has that artwork. I'm almost liking this color scheme on this Credit Collection figure a little bit more than I like the color scheme on the regular version. I don't know if it's like I have an affinity for this green or not. But yeah, I think this figure looks really, really cool. So I don't know if it's like maybe because they did this stuff with the hair, but I really feel like maybe it gives the figure a little bit more character. So let's stick this knife down in the boot where it goes. Oh, I thought it wasn't going to go in there. Let's put the gun in the holster. Okay, so anyways, this is the Credit Collection Cara Dune. I think I really do like the way the color looks. When you get this figure, you want to be a little bit careful with it. I don't know what Hasbro is going on over there, but they got some serious quality issues. I've had multiple issues with some of the G.I. Joes. If you've seen the videos, Roadblock had his arms come off in the middle of the video. Gung Ho had the same thing. I was able to swap out my Roadblock, but then I noticed that the one I swapped him out for is kind of interesting because this is actually the wrong leg because the pocket's on the wrong side. It's just crazy, right? Like, so they have some serious quality issues, but what I wanted to point out was when I was trying to put the gun into the holster here, I was pushing on the back of the gun and it kind of like bent the scope a little bit more than it should have. And then if you look at the shoulder pad, that hair, when I was moving it around, kind of just wanted that to pop off. This is an easy fix, right? If you're comfortable just putting a couple of dabs of glue on a figure or whatever, that's not that big a deal. It's not going to hinder like the movement or anything like that, and actually it's probably going to make it a little bit sturdier. But you wouldn't expect this from a figure that has a 4+ logo on it. Regardless, I am very pleased with the Cara Dune in the Credit Collection. I think the color scheme looks really good on this figure. So I was happy to be able to get it. I also picked up that Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight in the Vintage Collection. I'm looking forward to getting the rest of the Credit Collection figures, which are the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, the Mandalorian, and the Death Trooper. And once I get those, I'm going to do open box reviews on all of those figures, and they'll go up on my site. So make sure you subscribe and come back for more. Thanks a lot, everybody.